We go live first on all the other places, and the replay watchers, I think, get this. But did you hit go live yet on the app? No.
Yeah.
What happens is we have to wait for Amazon to know that we're live, and then it lets us go live. I'm hitting go live right now. 3, 2, 1. And we are live, and I'm going to turn off that music because that was not as pleasant as I had hoped. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to what is going to be a series of live streams on the productivity plan. So those of you who follow me, you know there's 5 plans for being a successful artist. We have the production plan, which is creating your art. We have the pricing plan, pricing your art, promotion plan, the productivity plan, and prospecting. That's finding your audience. All 5 plans I cover inside of the book Artpreneur. But today we are focusing on the productivity plan. So Addie, who do we have with us live today?
We've got some new followers. We have Victoria Lee, DNT. Welcome to the live.
Nice. Welcome. It's so nice to see you. Okay, we're going to keep on going. So real quick, I'm going to just introduce myself for anybody who might be new to me. I'm Miriam Schulman. So it's so nice to meet you. I'm the author of Artpreneur, which is the #1 business book for artists. And I'm the host of the Inspiration Place podcast. I can't wait to get to know you. So make sure you introduce yourself in the chat if you haven't already. I would love to hear where you're from, what kind of art you create, and where you live in the world. Okay. So like I said, if you haven't already, share in the chat who you are, what kind of art you do, and where you live. And I just so you know, I muted you because the keyboard was pretty enthusiastic. So if you need to speak, you'll just make sure you unmute yourself to let me know there's questions. All right. Now, I would love to connect with you. And my favorite place to connect with people is over on Instagram. I am Schulman Art over there. So if you are on your phone or if you're watching on a desktop or a laptop, and you can DM me on Instagram, I'm Schulman Art, SCHULMANART, and just DM me the word live. And that way I'll know that you're watching with us here today, and I can chat with you later. Okay, so let me ask you this, and you can put this answer into the chat if you'd like. What is your biggest challenge you face in selling your art? Let me know in the chat, because this also helps me create future content, future free content, whether that is for YouTube or Amazon or the podcast, that I can make sure I'm creating the best content that is really going to help you. So we do have a few more people to shout out that I see. So just welcome everybody. I do see some new people, and I do see some people that I already know, like Christy. And maybe I don't know everybody's Amazon name. So if you already know me, hello again. And if you're new to me, it's so nice to meet you. Now, what I want you to know is that most artists struggle, not because you aren't working hard enough, but because you focus on the wrong things, which is why we've created this series of Amazon Lives that are going to help you with your productivity. So we're going to focus on productivity wisdom to help you focus. And that's why I wanted to share this beautiful quote by Shonda Rhimes. I think a lot of people dream, and while they're busy dreaming, the really happy people, the really successful people, the really interesting, engaged, powerful people are busy doing, which actually brings up a very interesting question. Now, I asked my Inner Circle members this question last night. So if you can share in the chat your answer to this question. The question is, would you rather be happy or would you rather be successful? And is there a difference? And can successful people be happy? So there's no wrong answers. It's just, I want to hear how you think. If you can share that in the chat, I'll be reading every single comment, and we won't be reading all of them out loud, but I do read all the comments even afterwards. I'll go through and I'll look and see what people are posting. So today we're going to be reviewing productivity books and tools and sharing how you can put these main takeaways into action. And initially, my plan for this was to review all the books that you see inside of that live stream. I mean, inside of the carousel, but once I got started, there was just too much to share. So that's why we decided to do this over a series instead of trying to jam so much into one session, just for you to have like maybe 3 takeaways every time we meet together would be so much more valuable for you. So that's what we decided to do instead. So here's how to know if you are in the right place. If you want to learn planning resources, if you struggle with productivity and staying focused on your goals, or if you burn out on your resolutions way before the month is up. So I'm not even saying in January. I'm saying if you like make goals and plans at the beginning of the month and by the end of the week, you're still stuck and you don't understand why you haven't started, this is for you. This is to help you stay focused and productive. So whatever you are in your journey, I want you to know you're in the right place. And if you stay until the end of this live stream, you're going to learn how to get your hands on 10 planning prompts for your productivity. And we'll be giving that away for free. So we're going to be letting you know at the end how to get your hands on that. So Addie, do we have any questions?
We've got some few comments. So this one is from Donovan, who by the way is from Titans. He said, happiness first. Financial success doesn't mean you'll be happy or fulfilled. Interesting. And from Lava, she said that the more successful she is, the happier she is.
I love that. And like I said, this is just, I just want to talk to you and engage with you and learn how you think. All right, so we are going to move along in this. Now, I do want you to know that inside the book Artpreneur, which is, I think it's right behind me. Okay, so inside the book Artpreneur, I did dedicate a whole chapter on productivity, which does outline in detail what my entire goal setting and goal getting system is. So you will find that in chapter 11 called Stay Inspired. But I am a book addict. I love reading books. I especially love reading self-help books. If you're with me and you feel the same way, let me know inside the chat how you feel about reading books. I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite ones over the next few weeks that have to do with productivity. So again, like I said, you can find a lot of what we're talking about today inside chapter 11 of my book called Stay Inspired. But we're going to focus now on Atomic Habits. So who has read Atomic Habits? Share in the chat if you have read that. And Addie will be letting me know. But in the meanwhile, let's talk about it. So this is a great book that helps with productivity and, of course, habits. And you can't be productive unless you have really good habits. So I pulled out a few of the takeaways. Yeah, and if you've already read this book, hit the heart because we can then see, you know, who has already read it. If you hit the heart, and you can hit that heart times as many times as you want during the live stream if you're watching this on Amazon. Okay, so the main takeaway of this book is, or one of the main takeaways, is that it focuses on the power of small habits and incremental changes to create significant improvements over time. So let's talk about how you can put this into action. So one of the first ones you can do is implement what's known as the 2-minute rule. So the 2-minute rule is about making a new habit as easy as possible to start. So we'll talk about exactly how that would work. But the rule states that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. This helps overcome the initial resistance to starting a new habit and makes it easier to build consistency. So, what you want to do is identify a new habit you want to build. This could be work on your art 5 days a week. This could be journaling. This could be anything at all. In fact, I would love for you to share in the chat what your idea would be for a new habit that you think would work for this 2-minute rule. But what you want to do is whatever the habit is break it down into a task that can be done in 2 minutes or less. So working on your art every day is obviously not necessarily a 2-minute task. However, setting up your art supplies is a 2-minute task. And I want to just share with you one of the ways that I get this done. So we've linked these boxes up inside of the carousel. And one of the habits that I love is working in my planner and also doing my affirmations in the planner. So you see that. So what I do is one of these boxes, and I'm going to just pull this up. They come in a set of 3, but actually I separate them. So this one is by my front door. I usually put tickets in here. Sometimes I put my keys in here. So this one lives by my front door. And then this one over here, we store on our coffee table all of our electronic and remotes things. But the one that I really wanted to share with you is the 3rd box, because this is part of the 2-minute rule. And in this box, I keep all of my pens. So this is sitting on my coffee table. So because this is here, instead of watching TV, I might reach for my art journal supplies. Or while I'm watching TV, I might reach for my art journal supplies. So this way, it's a way that really keeps my environment really set up for success, because I have these things handy and it is beautifully organized in these not expensive actually boxes, considering that you get a set of 3 together. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next thing. All right, so you need to commit to doing this 2-minute version of your habit every day. And I just want to share one more hack that I have. I think we linked this in the carousel, but one of the things that I do to stay healthy is I try to drink more water. And this has really helped me a lot, especially since I live with a water terrorist. What is a water terrorist, you might ask? The water terrorist is my cat, who knocks over every single glass of water, every single open bottle. I actually had a very expensive repair on my laptop when she knocked a water bottle onto my keyboard. But this makes it so the water terrorist, if she knocks it over, nothing falls out, and it makes it easy for me to drink. So this is another 2-minute habit. Drink more water. I like the beige one, but we did link up some different ones in the carousel for you. Okay, so let me get back to what we're talking about. So I want to hear, what 2-minute habits do you want to start? So Addie, what did people have to say about that?
She wants to start a daily to-do list habit.
Great.
And Donovan says habit stacking or temptation stacking. He says that this is one of the best tips from the book. Design your environment to make your habits more likely to happen.
Beautiful. Like, this is why I talk about having, you know, things to store clutter makes it easier for me to be organized. Having a place where I always put tickets saves so much time for me because I'm always losing and I never know where I put things. So having a place to put my keys, and like I said, having a place for my markers. Any other ones, Addie, coming through?
Oh, we've got one from Deidre. Keeping my planner current.
Great. Okay. All right. So I want you to know that the first step, now this is not necessarily in the book. It might be in the book. It's been a long time since I read the book, but this is something I know to be true. That the first step is actually not the action. The first step is actually the commitment. That is the first step. So what I want you to do is in the chat, I want you, if you have that 2-minute rule in mind that you want, that habit you want to start, commit to it. So say in the chat, I commit to it. And you can be as specific as you want to be, because when you put something down in writing, your brain does something amazing. It uses your both sides of your brain go to work to help you make that come true. Writing down goals is a very important step in actually achieving them. All right. So the next thing that we've been talking about in order to make your habits real is to design your environment to support your habits. So the author James Clear emphasizes the importance of an environment design in habit formation. So those of you, and by the way, Addie, did a lot of people say they read the book, or there's people who haven't read the book yet?
We've got a few ones. So Donovan was able to read the book. Christy says she has the audiobook.
That counts.
But has yet to read it.
Okay. Yeah. That counts, but it only counts if you actually listen to it, though. So for those of you who've read it, or maybe if you haven't read it yet, in terms of the 2-minute habit that you decide you want to commit to, want to share in the chat how you want to change your environment to help support this new habit. Okay, so share it in the chat, like what you plan on doing. Okay. All right. So by altering your physical surroundings, you can make it easier to engage in good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. So why is there no clothes on my husband's side of the bed? Because it's right next to the laundry basket. And actually, that's not a diss on him. He's actually very good about not leaving things on the floor. I'm the one who is much further from the laundry basket who actually leaves things on the floor. So that's on me. But you want to always have things exactly where, if you find something as a dumping ground in your house, that's where you want to put a container for collecting them. Like I said, you know, that's why I have these things. That's to help support my good habits. All right. So here's your action step. You want to identify the cues in your environment that trigger bad habits or distractions. You want to rearrange your workspace to minimize these distractions and make your habits more convenient. For example, place your art supplies in a visible and easily accessible spot. Like I said, my art journal and my planning supplies are on my coffee table. And then finally, you want to create visual reminders of your goals and habits, such as a checklist or a vision board in your workspace. So I'm going to be sharing with you how I do that. So I have a vision board. It is on the wall right behind my computer screen. So you're not going to be able to see it right here. But I took a picture of it with the water terrorist, otherwise known as my cat. And I have some tools that help you with this vision boarding. So I've linked them up. You can always use regular magazines, but I did find that these vision board books do make it easier for you to do the vision boarding, because it has a list of all the things that you're going to want to do. Like it has a list of places. It has the years in it. And they do have ones that are, they do a good job with diversity and inclusion, but there are some ones that are catering just to people of color, just so you know that they do have that as well. This is the one that I ordered, and you can see there's some missing pieces in there because I did use it on the vision board, as did my daughter. So, and we did talk about this, I think, a few weeks ago, using vision board supplies. Okay. Now, the next thing is tracking your habits. So you can use anything you want to track your habits, but it is good to have something physical because it does motivate you. Now, I'm not sure if this is in this book or I read it in a different book. So those who read the book, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure he talked about how Jerry Seinfeld would write a joke a day. And every day he wrote a joke, he would put an X on his calendar, and he didn't want to break the streak. So they talk about not wanting to break streaks is really helpful. There are apps to do this, but you can really just use something very simple. I have something that I picked up that I really like. I'm going to just show it to you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Create a habit tracker. So it could be a calendar, like I said, just a regular calendar. You can do it in your planner. You can have a dedicated journal. You can have an app on your phone. So what I have is this one. I just think it's kind of nice to sometimes have something that's a little bit separate from your regular planner. And it has a to-do list here. And then what this says is a ta-da. So ta-da means that you've done it. So it's great to have a ta-da list. It's also nice because it has a room to do a brain dump on the side. All right, let's move back on to this. Okay, so here's your other action step. You want to review your habits regularly to identify patterns, celebrate successes, and make adjustments as needed. Okay, now I'm going to share something that I use a lot, and I am sharing with you this particular one. I don't think you can find it in orange right now. So this is the Brendan Bouchard Performance Planner. I think it comes in black, yellow, blue, and green. But when I got it, it was in orange. And I used this with writing my book. And it has some powerful features in it. So I'm going to go through the features about it. What's really nice about it is that, okay, so let me just show you something. In my regular planner, so I'm just going to pick out a week that's not too filled up. So you can see this is, all right, this is from January, actually. So you can see in January, I had a boot camp. I have my time blocking here. I have my goals. I have my wins. I have my affirmations. We did link up this planner in the carousel. And then Addie, make sure you highlight the Posca pens now, because that's something people always ask me what pens I use. But what I want to tell you is that this is a week view. And sometimes it's really helpful to have something separate that is just for the day view. But I don't like to buy ones that are pre-printed with all the exact days, like January 21st, January 23rd, because I feel terrible if I go a week without using it. So what I like about this one, it's not dated. And one of the number one things, and you can see that I use it in a variety of ways. I am going to show you a couple of different features about it that does support what James Clear is talking about. So you can see I use some features I use more than others. Let me get back to here. Okay. All right. So what's really good, and this what goes along with what James Clear was talking about, is it has prompts for reflecting on your habits. So I've highlighted 3 of them. So first of all, it has a daily habits scorecard. You can score yourself. I have to admit, this is something I never did, like not even once. But just because I like to do something or don't like to do something doesn't mean that that's something that you might want to use or not want to use. I did use, though, right above this habit scorecard, in this planner, there's something called an evening journal. I did use that. So in the evening journal, it asks you to reflect upon things you appreciated, things that you handled well, something you learned, how you could have made today even better, something that could have felt you more connected to others. So I did use those prompts quite often. But I tended to use the morning mindset prompts more. And I just wanted to show you that it also, at the end of the week, has a weekly reflection. So it helps you review your habits. So this is something James Clear talks about. I didn't use this aspect of the planner as much, but I used other features. So what I use, this is what I was talking about before, is I definitely dug into the morning mindset prompts and the evening journal prompts. And then I would time block my day. And because this is not a weekly planner, it's a daily planner, it had more room for really to let me write some more detailed things on it. Okay, so Addie, do we have any questions or comments I need to circle back to?
Yeah, we have some new ones. Deidre shares how she can change her environment to start the habits. She says she's going to keep her planner on her kitchen counter where she sees it all day.
Good.
And Tanya from AIC said she bought a shawl to keep in her chair in her studio in case she gets chilly so she doesn't have to get up.
I love that. I have one too. I think we've actually, a lot of these things that I'm showing you are all on Amazon. You don't have to get it from Amazon, but this one we did link for it up in the show notes. And yeah, it's helpful. Like here in my New York City apartment, like right now, I turned off the air conditioner because it's too noisy to have the air conditioner on the same time I'm doing a live. But when the air conditioner is on, it's blasting right on me. Okay. Now, the other thing I like about this planner, and this is why I used it so frequently while I was working on my book, is it has a prompt for word of the day. And that is something that I talk about inside Artpreneur. So we're going to go a little bit more in detail about that. So this was actually August 11th, this particular one, from what year was this? Whatever year I was writing the book, 2022. That's when this one is from. And what I think is hilarious, that 142.5 with that, actually, can you guess what that is, Daddy? What that number means? It's my weight, which I think is hilarious because I actually weigh the same exact thing today. Like after all that effort, like 2 years later, I'm still the same weight. Anyway, let me move on. So you don't need to have a special planner to do this. You can combine everything we're talking about into one system. So I'm just showing you how for this week, what I did was you can just on the top, I don't know if you can zoom in. I don't think we can zoom in, but you'll see I wrote for Monday, I wrote the word of the WOD, word of the day, organized. And then on Tuesday, I wrote the word disciplined. And then for today, I wrote the word committed. So that's what I did inside of my regular planner, which you can see. I've been decorating it every time I travel. I buy 2 stickers, one for my planner and one for my laptop. And I've been doing a little decorating. Okay. All right. Now, in terms of the word of the day, here are some really great words that are good for goal setting. So here, they're basically all emotion words that are good. So committed, determined, driven, inspired, motivated, disciplined. Can you guys think of any other words that would be good for goal setting? You can share that into the chat, and you can also ask the question in the chat, and Addie can help me with shouting some out. I think the picture got cut off, so I'm just like flipping to my planner to like see what some of these other words I came up with, which are good for goal setting. Focused, certain, decisive, excited, curious, brave, persistent. So these words are all really good words for goal setting and goal achievement. Addie, do we have any people adding any different words that they like to use for word of the day?
Yeah, Donovan says consistent.
That's great.
And Tanya says focused.
I love that. Okay. And notice how happy actually isn't one of the words that are good for goal setting, because you do need to get a little bit uncomfortable to reach your goals. You're basically exchanging temporary happiness of not working on something that's hard for a future happiness of having achieved that goal that you ultimately want to do. Okay. Now, I did promise you some prompts for creative productivity. This is absolutely free. And the way you get it is go head on over to Instagram. Just DM me the word Schulman Art, the word create. DM me create. I think I wrote this wrong. So DM me the word create to @Schulman Art, and we will send you this list of prompts absolutely free. And once you've done that, if you can hit the heart on your app to let us know that you've done that. And Addie can let me know if there's any more questions that we have to address before we keep on going. Okay, I see a couple of things like Dee says streaks are the best. Christy says she likes bullet journaling. Deidre wants to know, what do you do with old vision boards? Good question. You don't have to do anything with them. You can just toss them out, or you can just collage over them again. So I did one on a bulletin board one year, and then I just kept adding to it. You know, I just took off the years and I kept adding. So yeah. Oh, Dee Dee says she's committing to 2 minutes of outreach for a new business. I love that. I think we might maybe already said that, but okay. Anything else we have to talk about? All right. Yes. So we want to make sure that you hit the follow to get notifications for the next live. So I'm showing you where to find that. It is a little bit different if you're on your phone on the app. So I'm not quite sure where to find that. You can let us know if you know how. But if you're on your desktop or your laptop, you can hit the follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, I think it's you hit the subscribe. We are doing this on YouTube also. So just once you do that, let us know that you've already hit the follow button. Okay. And if you want to catch up and watch all the past live streams, you can actually do that. You can go to schulmanart.com/live streams, and we've linked up that for you so that you can easily find them. Okay, so now I'm just going to answer questions and maybe talk about anything I haven't talked about so far. I do have a bunch of books that are all about productivity. Oh my gosh. So I read all these books. So plus some other ones that I don't have with me that maybe I checked from the library or maybe I already got rid of. So we're going to be talking just in this way for over the next few weeks about really pulling some takeaways out of these books and sharing with you how you can put them into action. Addie, is there anything else we have to talk about before we say goodbye?
Some viewers just shared their habits that they want to keep. Christy says, Lori says, I commit to spending 2 minutes first thing in the morning to create my daily to-do list.
Beautiful.
And Deidre says, I commit to updating my planner when I have a new daily requirement.
Nice. Very nice. I also like to I teach this inside of the incubator program. And what I like to do personally is I always like to do my planning Sunday night or first thing Monday morning for the week. And then of course you do have to review during the day because sometimes people will make appointments with me, or things will come up, or my team says, Miriam, you forgot to do this. You have to do like website reviews now. So things will change. So I do it both from a weekly perspective, as well as I double check at the beginning of each day what it is that I have on the calendar. Now, finally, I would love for you to share what your greatest takeaway was today. And again, if you enjoyed this style live stream, be sure you hit the heart and follow the stream, and let us know if you have any other ideas for future live streams. We're always listening to our audience. Addie, do we have anything else to shout out?
That's it so far.
Okay. All right, my friends. So you can always find me on the Inspiration Plays podcast. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I had so much fun with you, and I hope you had fun too. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, stay inspired. Bye for now.